Hi, so third part of Dora snouting. Snouty, snouty. Right, so you've made your two sides of your head onto the gusset of the head. So it looks a bit like this. So you turn it right sides out. And out she pops. So you've got a little line for your gusset to move it. That's the middle of where the snout, of the middle of the snout goes. So it looks like this. So you've got right side and wrong side, because that's the side I drew on. So right sides together still. And what you're going to do, to the right side, you put the middle where the curve goes in, and you match the middle to the middle of the head gusset at the front, and you pop in a pin. So this end point of the curve, not the straight bit, this is a little bit like sewing on Eric's muzzle. When you've sewn this curve in, these two straight bits will join onto these straight bits, and you'll sew down and across to complete the head. Then you'll have a hole, a circle hole at the front of the snout, which is where the end piece sews on to complete the snout. That didn't pin very well, it's a bit hangy off here. Just going to repin that a minute. Hope that was clear. So this end piece here will end up on that curve, that point there, and the same on the other side. So you just kind of need it to fit. So you can see those two bits match there. So I'm just going to pin it. And again, you're just going to use a very small stitch. Now it might be easier, if you're not used to stitching on a machine, to put the eyes in at the very, very end. The only thing is you have a small hole to get your hands up through to put the eyes in. That's why I put them in earlier, but there is potential for that to kind of get in your way, but I manage it now. If it does get a bit, the seam allowance gets a bit thinner there when you finish sewing it, you can of course go for the hand stitch just to make sure that's nice and secure. See how I'm kind of holding the two edges together. I'm just going to pin them in place. I really must sew a lunar creature at some stage by hand, because I feel like a bit of a fraud sometimes because I don't ever sew them by hand. And I see some of the beautiful hand stitching that the ladies and some gentlemen do, and they put them on the page, and I just think, oh, that's so beautiful. Why don't I do that? Just because I'm more confident on a machine, I think. So it is going to get in the way, and my foot's going to get on the eyes a little bit. It's going to be a little bit cheaty. Need my zipper foot. Okay, it's so long since I've done any sort of videoing, I feel a bit alien to this now. Anyway, let's click her in there. Turn the light on a minute. So it is today, where I am right now, filming this, the 20th of December. My kids have all broken up for school. My littlest one was poorly with sepsis not sepsis, what am I talking about? Strep throat. God. Sounds so dramatic. Okay, right. I'll grip it, and there you go. Hardly under there, that's why. Come on, Mandy, get this in position. That's better. I think the end of the snout is going to have to be stitched by hand in. I can't, at the moment, I can't see how to do it in, but I will of course be looking at that momentarily, because I do prefer the old sewing machine if I can. Oh, it's gone off. There she is. Just jiggle that a little bit. You can hardly see what I'm doing because of the amount of fabric I've got on there. There we go. And it's on. The snout is on. Let me see how neat that looks. Looks a little bit like a hippo. Hippo. My OCD pin cushion, which I've got to get all the right colours in with the right colours, look. Anyway, probably move back to the foot in a minute, but that's it so far. So let's trim our little threads and make sure it's all nice and neat and tidy, so I wasn't getting all the threads caught up in your stitching. So then you basically turn it all inside out, so that all the right sides are on the inside, and you matching your seams. You're going to sew down the snout and down the throat. So you can of course pin this if you want to. I'm going from the snout down. I'm going to make sure that a seam underneath the snout is matching nicely. So it all matches up beautifully. And then that's going to go. I don't need that one anymore. I've got the BFG on TV. My youngest getting a nice view of the old tum there. That's gonna get bigger over Christmas. Anyway, all threaded, lovely. Right, nice neat seam now. Get this in place. Lovely jubbly. So let's have a look at the next bit. Because you do have to put some like gathering stitches down the length of the snout as well to give it that kind of crinkled up nose look. Let's have a look at the next page. What it says. I think it might be a hand stitch job, which is fair enough, you can't get away. But I do think there's a little bit where you have to do the darts, which I think I can do on the machine. So it says dash line on each side of the snout end, mark the pleats that will create the nostrils. With the snout end right sides facing in front of you, fold over to one side, bring the pleat markings together and sew a short line of stitches to fix it in place. So if you look at it from there, little lines going up to give you those little snouty bits. So this is my right side. On the wrong side I've got it marked, so I'm going to make sure those line up, and I'm going to just catch it on my machine and sew it. That's more than enough. Snip all these bits off. I'm guessing you're not going to cut that excess fabric off because that gives it a nice, well, it's going to be like that, isn't it? Gives it a nice line. Yep, they match. Perfecto. Trim the threads again. So, Christmas surprise, Christmas surprise. Who ordered the Christmas surprise box? I did. And it's arrived. And I'm shaking it and I can't know what it is. I'll tell you what I did notice though, before I tell you about the snout. I did notice a teeny tiny bit of fur sticking out, like where the packaging box underneath the little bits of fur sticking out. So I was thinking, what has fur? Sarah does tend to like British animals. Snout. So British animals that have fur. Now they have reintroduced beavers, haven't they? Stout and ferrets and stuff. She's done farm animals without doing a pig. She's done cows and stuff before. Donkeys, horses, ponies, goats have fur. I don't know. Interesting, isn't it? But little bits of fur sticking out. I was like, oh my god, so intrigued. Anyway, 5 days. 5 days and I can open it. So once the nostril pleats have been sewn, trim. Oh, you do trim off the excess. It's okay. You can do that. Makes sense. Trim that off. Trim that off. Trimmed. Back my little piggy nose. Right, then press what's left flat, centered in a work comes up in eyeshadow. Darken the inside of the fold to emphasize the nostrils. That's so cute. I wonder why I asked for shadow. I don't do makeup. I don't have makeup. I can't do that. And I wish I could. But I can't. I could take it over to my brother's house on Boxing Day and get my niece to put a little bit of powder in there and make it darker. I might do that. She might overpower it though. She might give it a makeover. That would be distressing. Anyway, so you insert the snout. It's the most challenging part of the head assembly. Finger fold the snout end to mark centre points. Position these centre points in line with the centre of the snout and the centre of the jaw seam. Pin it in place and oversew the snout end. Constantly checking to make sure that you still have the centre points aligned. Stretching the snout out to match the shape as needed. Now, I don't like having seams on the outside at all. What am I going to do? So, finger fold and get your little bits. Oh, I can't do this from the outside. What am I going to do? So that's the centre and that's the centre. And it's got to be, that bit's the top. Let's have a little sneaky peek here, see if we can do something different. I don't know. Oh, I've got to sit to the neck. Oh my god, Maddie. Concentrate on what you're doing. Okay, so it is definitely going to be a hand sewing job. Oh my god. We're at 14 minutes already on this video, which it gets boring if you have too much of the same thing, isn't it? So, oh my god, I'm so nervous about this. I don't want to ruin it. I don't hate hand sewing, it's just laborious, isn't it? So much quicker if you have I don't need to stretch it. See how it's fitting in there? Okay, so but I can see how hand sewing is going to give it a better shape. We're going to hand sew, babies. Do I show you me hand sewing it? It's going to take me so long. It's going to have to be done. It's going to have to be done. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll hand stitch it on off camera. I'll finish it off on camera, and then we'll do the little gathery up bits. So you see that. I've almost got it in place, to be fair. It's actually, I don't think it's going to take that long, but I'm not going to show you all on camera because it's just so boring. And I'm so sorry. I was like really like not very chatty the last two videos, so I do apologise. But if I sew it this way, inside out, when I turn out the right way, the seam will be on the inside, and I will prefer how that looks. Why am I so bothered by it? It looks cute in all the pictures with it on the outside. I just don't think I can do it. I can't. So I'm going to hand sew it inside out off camera. I'll finish it off on camera, turn it out the right way, and then we'll gather back and pull up and get the crinkle. Thank you very much for watching. Sorry for babbling. It is pinned in place. I'm just going to whip stitch away around the outside. I hope it works. I'll see you on the other side. Thank you very much for watching. Obviously subscribe. 1,000 subscribers, by the way. Thank you so much. And I'll see you in the next video, which will be gathering up the snout and popping the head onto the body, because we can stuff it then and pop it onto the body, put the arms on, and she's finished. Amazing. Ready for clothes. Thank you very much for watching.